Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campia, and this is a companion video. What is a companion video? Well, I'm glad that you asked. You see, every day on the John Campia Show, and when we do open mics, we take live questions. And I try to get through all the live questions, but sometimes we don't have time to get to all of them. But I want to make sure you guys know that when you send in those live questions, they do get answered, and so that's why we take those ones we didn't have time for, we gather them up here, and we address them on companion videos. We've got a hell of a lot of questions to get through today, so let's get things started right off the bat with this. Javier Riaz 405 wrote, I thought it was a great trailer, probably talking about the Avengers 4 trailer. Apparently it moved a week. Yeah, that was one of the big things that a lot of people didn't even notice at first, because the trailer plays through, and we don't even notice that at the end it goes April. And of course, it was supposed to open in May. Avengers Infinity War, they moved it back into April. It looks like they've done the same thing here. Although I don't know off the top of my head what the specific date is, but maybe it moved 1 week, maybe it moved 2, I'm not sure. But now it is opening in April, and that's something that a lot of people didn't catch the first time they watched the trailer. Spencer Main writes, I like that the trailer didn't show much. It sets the tone. Yeah, like what I said about the trailer, see, some people have been trying to say that I didn't like the trailer, even though I repeated about 55 times. I liked the trailer. It's good. For a first trailer, it's a good trailer. I just didn't think it was a mind-blowing trailer. Like, oh my God, this is the greatest trailer. No, it was good. It was a first trailer that kind of did what it announces the world. The movie's coming back, gave us a couple of nice little shots, a couple of nice little lines. It was a good first trailer. But it wasn't this mind-blowing, it was the people sitting looking sad trailer. That's the whole trailer, people sitting looking sad. But it was good for this movie. It set it up. It was a good, solid trailer. And yeah, it didn't really show anything at all. And it's a first trailer. So yeah, it is what it is. I didn't expect a hell of a lot from it. And it didn't exceed my expectations, which is perfectly fine for a first trailer. You wait to see what they do with their second trailer. That's all I'm saying. You wait to see what they do with their second trailer. Anyway, let's see. Ed Tan writes, trailer gave me goosebumps, but at this point, it's pretty hard to believe what we see in an MCU trailer. Them Russo brothers are crafty little devils. Yeah, and it really doesn't have a lot to do with the Russo brothers. A lot of people still seem to believe that directors make the trailers. They don't. Very, 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 very minute exceptions to that. But for the vast, vast, vast majority, the directors really don't spend much time on trailers because that's not what they do. They're not marketers. Directors are filmmakers. They're not marketers. And they need to put their attention on the movie. But yes, Kevin Feige has been very, very crafty. But I don't doubt that everything that's in this trailer will be in the movie. Because unlike that one Avengers 3 trailer, where you see the Hulk coming, there's a lot they needed to misdirect. In this trailer, there was nothing they needed to do misdirect on, right? So I think they're going to be pretty fine, but you're right, Kevin Feige is pretty crafty when it comes to doing their marketing campaigns and stuff. Pardon me. All right. Javier Riaz writes, I also like the title Endgame. I neither like nor dislike the title Endgame. It's a title. But you guys know me, right? I don't care about titles so much. A title is simply an identity. Boom. It's just a name tag. A title is nothing but a name tag. I don't care if a guy's name is Chuck or Ed or Phil or, whatever. I don't care. The name doesn't matter, but it lets me just identify who you are, and that's the important thing. Endgame is just a title. So I've read some people getting really upset at the title. Why get upset at the title? I don't get that. It's a title. It's a perfectly fine title. Nothing wrong with it. The title's not going to change the quality of the movie. So yeah, I like the title. I think it's fine. Zombatron 5678 writes, did you see the spot Shuri is listed as killed in action in the teaser? Yes. See, when Robert and I were talking about this the other day, that's one of the first things I pointed out was Banner is standing there looking at these holo displays of the people they lost, right? Spider-Man is one of the ones that comes up. Ant-Man. Now, a lot of people say, no, John, that's not a list of people they lost because Ant-Man's alive. Yes, but they all think Ant-Man is dead. Remember, when the snap happens, Ant-Man was in the quantum realm and he got stuck in there. Now, how he got out, we don't know. We'll find out. We knew he was going to get out, but we'll find out in the movie how he gets out. But remember, when the snap happened to the rest of the world, Scott Lang disappeared. He's gone. So Yes, Scott was on there too, but they also think he's dead. So yes, that was a list of the people killed in action. So Shuri either died in the snap, or she also, no one's just seen her. Maybe she's gone underground. Maybe she went into hiding, which is unlikely. I don't see why Shuri needs to do that. But I think she probably died in the snap, leaving M'Baku to become the leader of Wakanda. So that's what I think they're going to do. We'll have to wait and see. PGML writes, where was Wolverine? Just kidding. I didn't know what to say, but I love the trailer. Yeah, look, I still remember when some of the first images and the first teasers started coming out for Avengers Infinity War. Thanos had like scars. I believe it was Thanos. They showed a part of Thanos that had 3 scars. And like looked like 3, and everybody started jumping up and down. Confirmation that Wolverine is in Infinity War already. There it is. Wolverine's in Infinity War. Guys, it's scars. Lots of villains, they put scars on them. No big deal. Sure enough, he wasn't there. And then I swear, you're joking, PGML. I know you're joking, but there are still people who are convinced that there are X-Men characters that are going to pop up in Avengers 4. There are still people absolutely convinced X-Men characters are going to pop up in Avengers 4. And they are not, but at any rate. So it's just kind of funny that you brought that up. All right. James Bonner writes, hey, John, after seeing the trailer, what are your thoughts on how pivotal Scott Lang's role will be in the movie? I've always thought Scott's role was going to be pivotal. See, what I thought before Ant-Man and the Wasp came out, I thought both Scott and Hank were going to be pivotal in Avengers 4. And I thought their work with the quantum realm and all that kind of stuff was going to become pivotal in however they solve the Snap and Thanos problem. I've thought that from the beginning. Now, then we saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Hank got dusted. So there went that part of my theory completely out the window. But I still believe Ant-Man plays a pivotal role. I said that long time ago. I believe Ant-Man plays a pivotal role. Plus, it also plays into the fact that, remember a long time ago, we saw those set pictures. And there was Captain Marvel. There was Captain America, Iron Man, and Ant-Man there with him, right? So, yeah, I believe Scott plays a very important role. And even the trailer suggests he does, because everything's grim, everything's bleak. Again, the Avengers trailer was people sitting looking sad trailer. That's the trailer. Until you got to Hawkeye. Then Hawkeye was standing looking sad. Big change of gears. But anyway, then they set it up sadness. Oh, everything's so sad. We're all depressed. And then Scott shows up. And it totally changes the tone of the trailer. Hey guys, it's me. Remember me? I got really big at the airport. It was a great juxtaposition to the rest of the trailer. It set it up. So, yeah, it feels to me that even the trailer seems to suggest that all hope is lost, all hope is lost, all hope is lost. And then Scott Lang shows up. And that will fundamentally change the direction of the movie. So yeah, I, again, could be completely wrong about that. Could be 100% wrong about that. But that's kind of what I'm sensing at this point with the way I think they're going to go. Eduardo O'Neill writes, have you seen Gifted? Season 2 has been amazing for me, and the guy with the light in his hands as an actor, it has talent as an actor in my opinion. I've really liked The Gifted. I loved season 1. I've really enjoyed season 2. And I keep confused. I swear to God, if you told me that dude with the light power, the one whose girlfriend is Polaris and they have a baby together, if you told me he was, why am I freezing on Poe Dameron's real name? Why am I freezing on the actor's real name? At any rate, if you told me that he was cousins or brothers of the dude who plays Poe Dameron, I totally would. Because I honestly, at the first couple of previews I thought that was him. I thought that was the guy who plays Poe Dameron in the Star Wars movies. That's who I thought it was. And even now when I watch The Gifted, I have to remind myself it's not him. But yes, he's very good. The show has been great. For a lower budget, television, comic book property, it's been really sharp. I've really enjoyed it. If you haven't checked out The Gifted yet, you really should. It's well worth checking it out. Jared's Reviews writes, I love the feel of the trailer, how the effect from the snap destroyed them on the inside. You definitely feel them hurting. Where's your merch store? Oh, well, okay, yeah, so my merchandise store, people keep asking me, and I keep saying, I'm going to start putting the link to the merchandise store in the show notes, and I keep forgetting to do that. The link for the merch store is cafepress.com/The John Campea Show. That's the address to the merch store. So I got a bunch of t-shirts, some cups, hats, things like that in there. So once again, it's cafepress.com/The John Campea Show. So that's where the merchandise store is at the moment. And yes, I mean, look, I said before, and I still believe, that whole trailer could have been like a 1-minute epilogue of Avengers Infinity War. But again, it's a first trailer. It's a first trailer, which is just meant to do certain things, a small amount of things. That's all they need to do. And that's what they did in the first trailer. So good first trailer. Just again, I'm kind of in the minority here. Well, I mean, I agree with everybody. It's a good trailer, but I'm in a little bit in the minority that I don't think it was a mind-blowing trailer. Like, what? Like, I don't think it was that, but it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be. So anyway, that's where I'm at on that. Let's see. Nerd Polemist writes, thoughts on Kevin Hart stepping down from the Oscars because of past homophobic tweets? I thought it was ridiculous. I still to this day think the entire controversy is ridiculous. You guys who've watched my show for any period of time, I have zero tolerance for backward thinking, Neanderthalic worldviews of any sort of thing involving racism, sexism, homophobia, whatever. There's just no place for that in the world right now. But at the same time, are we really going to start fine-tooth combing, witch hunting anybody who may have said something off, even if it was in a comedy routine 9 years ago? You know, when in the subsequent 9 years, somebody like a Kevin Hart has gone on record multiple times, say, hey, you know, who I was, I have grown as a person. Like I wasn't, if all your stupid things that you've said and done and all the stupid things I've said and done were on public record and somebody wanted to go through your past with a fine-tooth comb, we would all be dragged out and dragged through the mud. We all would be. You know, Kevin Hart made some jokes. I don't get it. I don't. You know, there was a poet who said, and I mentioned this with Robert the other day, he said, the world will never truly be able to live together until we learn to laugh at ourselves together. You know, and I don't know. I thought it was really a sad commentary on where things, look, there are people who actually do things and people who have done things that truly need our attention. And then there are things like this that should never have been an issue. This never should have been an issue. Because you're going to go through anybody you get to host the Oscars, you're going to find something that they said about somebody somewhere that could be construed as insensitive or different. You're out of people. You're going to completely run out of human beings. There's no human beings left after all that. So I don't know. I mean, that's just my point of view. I could have my mind changed, but I was really disappointed to hear that he stepped down. I understand why he did it. He was facing a lot of pressure that he did not deserve, but I just feel it's really unfortunate that he needed to step down. It's too bad. Jason on Goko writes, Black Panther was nominated because all film is subjective. Well, see, I would buy that if it wasn't for the fact that this body, this Hollywood Foreign Press, has a history of nominating films just to get their stars to come to their show and to get attention for their show, even when those individual members of the Hollywood Foreign Press didn't actually like those films all that much. This goes back to The Tourist that had Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp. They nominated, the Hollywood Foreign Press, which runs the Golden Globes, they nominated The Tourist for Best Picture of the Year. It was a bad movie. It was a bad movie. Now you can say, but John, all films are subjective. Just because I thought it was a bad movie doesn't mean other people thought it was a bad movie. True. Except at the time, I went through some of the members of the Hollywood Foreign Press and looked at their initial reviews of The Tourist, and most of them didn't like the movie. That's the thing. I accept that all film is subjective. I'm an advocate for the subjectivity of film. But at the time, it's like, but wait a minute, you guys who just nominated for Best Picture, you yourself said it wasn't very good, and now you're nominating for Best Picture. That's why the Hollywood Foreign Press has the Golden Globes carry no weight with me. I don't even cover, with the Hollywood Foreign Press, the Golden Globe nominations came out the other day. I didn't even cover it. because it's pointless. The Hollywood Foreign Press, the Golden Globes, is a useless, stupid award. Now, there are some people who might want to make the argument, well, all award shows are stupid and dumb. Okay, that's fine if you feel that way. I feel the Oscars have a lot of validity, 7,000 voting members, actors nominating actors, directors nominating directors, screenwriters nominating writers, and so on and so forth. It's a much better system, and I just don't think the Golden Globe system has any validity. None. 70 members who happen to be film critics for publications that are outside of the U.S., but they themselves live in Los Angeles. That's what the Hollywood Foreign Press is. And that's why, like, when you go through a lot of their reviews of Black Panther, a lot of them liked it, but very few of them sung the praises of Black Panther as if it was the best picture of the year. Now, myself, I love Black Panther. I'm not even sure which one I like more. I'm not even sure if I like Black Panther or Infinity War more. That's how much I like Black Panther. That I still kind of go back and forth as to whether I like Black Panther or Infinity War more. But I have no problem with a body nominating a film that I didn't think was very good. I've got no problem with that. As long as you, the nominating body, actually thought it was that good, and that has been problematic for the Hollywood Foreign Press. So anyway, that's just kind of my take on that. Import Taste writes, Narf. I'm not sure what Narf is, unless that's you're referring to Pinky from Pinky Rain. But was it Narf? Narf, or was it Snarf? No, Snarf was the kid thing from the Thundercats. That's right. Narf. Frida Fuzzy Paws, I like that name, writes, which Netflix comedy specials do you like? Well, there's hundreds of Netflix comedy specials. I can't sit here and recall every single one that I've liked. I know two recently, well, a few recently that I've really enjoyed. Joey Coy's recent one. Joe Coy, I think, is hilarious. John Mulaney's most recent one that came out a few months ago. And John Mulaney, by the way, is doing the voice of Spider-Ham in the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And Bumping Mics. I just got introduced to Bumping Mics last week. It is stupid funny. If you haven't watched Bumping Mics, watch it. And I can't even remember the names of these comedians. It's Jeff something or whatever, but you're like, oh, I don't even know if I like these guys. Just keep watching. When they get on stage at these comedy clubs and they start going, it's so funny. If you get a chance, check those out. John Hine writes, Alex Cross got an A CinemaScore. How? Well, listen, you can go back in history and find many, 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 aberrations like that. Look, that's why I always say don't really pay any attention to any critic, to any fan scores. Never pay attention to fan scores. If you really insist on paying attention to fan scores, the one you need to pay attention to is CinemaScore, because it's the only one out of IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, whatever, all the other fan ratings, the only one that is 100% certified that the fans registering their thoughts on a movie actually saw the movie and are real people. CinemaScore is the only one that does that, because they actually physically are there at movie theaters and surveying people as they're coming out of the theater. Unlike, say, an IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, where you get 500,000 votes on a movie before the movie even comes out, right? So never pay attention to audience scores. And by the way, CinemaScore is not perfect at all. Because like a movie like Alex Cross, which is a Tyler Perry movie, you're generally just going to get a lot of Tyler Perry fans going to that movie, and they're more predisposed to liking it. So there's no system that's perfect. None. And if you want to go back, God, when did Alex Cross come out? 8 years ago? If you want to go back 8 years and find one that has an aberration like that, well, it happens. The audiences that saw the movie happened to like the movie. I thought it was terrible. A lot of people think this is terrible. But, for the most part, CinemaScore, the surveys of CinemaScore fall in line with what everybody generally thinks. But there are going to be lots of examples like an Alex Cross. Lots of them. But that's another example of don't take the exception as being the rule. Right? There are always exceptions, and this is obviously one case of those exceptions. There are many others. Let's see. Johnny Aseguera, I'm sure I'm butchering your name, Johnny. My apologies. Cap said they lost friends, family, and part of themselves. Does this confirm Hawkeye's family was dusted? And who do you think is the NFL MVP this year? Well, I only take one question at a time, Johnny. Um, well, look, half the planet lost family. Half of the planet. No, everybody. If half the planet disappears, that means everybody lost family. Everyone lost family. Does it confirm that Hawkeye lost family? Well, since everybody lost family, yes, I'm absolutely sure Hawkeye lost family. I'm positive Tony lost cousins and second cousins or aunts or uncles. Yeah, I'm sure everybody did. Everybody lost family. When half the population of the earth disappears, the statistical rule on that would be everybody lost family. Everybody did. So is Hawkeye part of everybody? Yeah. So yes, Hawkeye lost. I have no doubt Hawkeye. The only question is, how much family did he lose? Did he lose one of his children? Did he lose his wife? Did he lose both of his children? Did he lose his wife and one child? Did he lose them all? We're going to have to wait and see. But again, the mathematical, statistically speaking, it's a 50-50 roll on each one of them. He lost somebody. He lost somebody. The question is, how many did he actually lose? How many did he actually lose? Vince Carter of Mars writes, thank God Marvel was smart enough to give us this trailer that we all deserved. Kidding, LOL. Do you think it's more likely the Avengers plan revolves around time travel or alternate dimension travel? I think the predominant theory, Vince, going back to the end of Infinity War, the predominant theory has been it will be a time travel device. It'll be a time travel plot device. I think the odds suggest that's what they're going to do. I'm still not 100% sold on it. I hope they don't, just because, to be honest, while there have certainly been sci-fi stories, movies, and TV shows that have effectively used time travel, Star Trek Voyage Home is a great example of one. I love Voyage Home. Voyage Home's great. There are movies and TV shows that have used time travel effectively. But I generally find the time travel plot device a lazy plot device. Like, well, we can't find any other way to do this, so let's say time travel, right? I think things point towards Avengers 4 using time travel. I'm just hoping that it doesn't. And if it does, it could still work out magnificently. The Star Trek, The Voyage Home, is fantastic, and it uses time travel. There are a couple of others that use time travel, and it's fantastic. And maybe Avengers Endgame is one that does use time travel, and it ends up being fantastic, which would be a win-win-win-win-win for everybody. I'm just saying, while I do believe it's probably going to be time travel, which has been the predominant theory, I just hope it's not. That's all. But it is kind of pointing that way. Let's see. HV39000 writes, dude, that Avengers Endgame trailer. I mean, dude, again, I thought it was good for a first trailer. But do I think it's like the second Avengers Infinity War trailer? No, come on. Go check yourself. This Avengers 4 trailer, this Endgame trailer, is nowhere near the level of that second Avengers Infinity War trailer, right? Like, that second Avengers Infinity War trailer, that's a trailer you go, woo, and our faces are melting, and like that is that kind of a trailer. This was not, but this was a first trailer, and it's good for a first trailer. It's good. Honestly, my belief is a lot of people are overreacting to the trailer simply because it's Avengers. I made a joke on the show the other day that this whole Avengers 4 trailer could have just been black screen and then the title, Avengers Endgame, and then 30 seconds of Kevin Feige standing naked doing the windmill with his dick going, you're going to go see my movie. And everybody would still go, oh my God, Avengers 4 is coming, and that's what we do as fans, right? That's what we do. You do it. I do it. We all do it. But I think that's what a lot of us have been doing with this Avengers 4 trailer. It's good for a first trailer. But again, don't even pretend to compare this trailer to like that second trailer from Avengers Infinity War. I mean, that was a different level. That's the level of trailer that should make us lose our minds. This, First trailer, not a second trailer. It's a first trailer, and it's good. Everything that's in it, there's nothing in this trailer that's bad. You know, Cap crying, the Tony sitting by himself, Natasha with her hand on his shoulder, Hawkeye looking sad. I mean, it was all good. The Ant-Man showing up at the end, it's all good. But it's a first trailer. It was good. It was the people sitting looking sad trailer. That describes the entire trailer until Ant-Man shows up. It's people sitting looking sad. That's the trailer. Except for Hawkeye, who is standing looking sad. But yeah, it's good. It's good. I liked it. But I'm just telling you guys, wait for that second trailer. I will put dollars to dimes. This second trailer that we're going to get in the next couple of months sometime, that trailer is going to make heads explode. You watch. That is a trailer that's going to make people's heads explode. You wait. You wait and see. Anyway, let's see. Deadpool writes, the trailer had such an epic and large scale. Oh, no, it did not. No, it did not. Anyway, the trailer had such an epic and large scale vibe that I think it's probable that it'll pass Avengers 3. It's being sold as a must-see. Hashtag Iron Inspired. Okay, first of all, look, no, there was nothing large scale about this trailer. You don't need to be large scale. People, large scale equals good. No. Just being small scale can be the best trailer in the world. But it was not a large scale trailer. It was a couple of single individuals sitting looking sad. That was it. You see, what they could have done with the Avengers Endgame trailer to make it large scale, and again, it didn't need to be large scale. Let's emphasize that. It did not need to be large scale. Didn't need to. And it wasn't, but it didn't need to. If they wanted it to be large scale, you don't just show Cap and Natasha and Tony, and you don't just show, and Bruce looking sad at all the people they lost. You don't just show that. You go to Tibet and show families huddled together, weeping over lost ones. Then you go to Hong Kong and show, a town square of people with huge memorials to all the people they lost. Then you jump over to London, showing an old man sitting looking at the picture of his wife that he lost in the dusting, weeping and crying. Then you cut to Toledo and show, Larry the plumber sitting there holding a picture of his kids and weeping. You want it to be, if they wanted this trailer to be large, epic scale, then you go global with it. You show the world in mourning. But they didn't. The trailer was very small scale, and that was perfectly fine. I think that worked best, keeping it small scale, keeping it personal to the characters we already know, Natasha, Steve, Tony, Bruce, keeping it personal and on a small scale, I thought was actually the right call. And I think that's what kind of gave that first trailer its effectiveness. But it was not epic or large scale. Like, it was the complete opposite of epic and large scale. And again, just so people don't misquote me, that's perfectly fine. It didn't need to be epic and large scale. Epic and large scale doesn't equal good. Small scale does not equal bad. I actually think the smaller scale of it was the right move. I think that was the right decision. It kept it personal. But Pool of Dead, I got to disagree with you completely. There was nothing large scale about this trailer. Nothing large scale about it, and it didn't need to be, and that's totally fine. Anyway, Brass Drake writes, rewatched Ultron last night. Knew that Endgame would be the title. MCU is like the old interlocking comic book covers. DC should do the same. No, I don't think DC should do the same. Again, it's a title. This movie, if this movie is a success, and obviously it's going to be a success, it'll have nothing to do with the fact that Endgame was the title. It has nothing to do with how you do your titling. That's going to have nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it at all. But you do bring up a good point, Brass Drake, about the fact that, Endgame, there were other theories. Annihilation was one. Decimation was one. I never understood why people thought Decimation would actually be the title. Because, John, the effects of the snap is what people called the decimation in the comics, I guess. But that was the last movie. The decimation happened in the last movie. That would be like calling The Empire Strikes Back Star Wars 2, Death Star blows up. But but Death Star blowing up was in the last movie. You're going to title this movie about the last movie? Like, so that's why I never understood the whole decimation theory. Although it is a cool word. Decimation is a cool word. But Endgame is probably, other than Annihilation, probably the one that a lot of people kind of speculated on and thought of most. Obviously, there's a couple of references to Endgame throughout the MCU. Most notably, of course, is Doctor Strange sitting there at the end of Infinity War going, we're in the Endgame now. And that's when a lot of people kind of thought, oh, Endgame, that's going to be in the name of the next movie. And sure enough, it was. So there you go. Let's see. Anthony Ashmask writes, RIP Internet, that trailer is going to shatter records all across the board. By the way, was this the first time a mainstream movie's title was revealed along with its first trailer? I don't think so. I mean, I can't say that definitively, but I feel like that's happened before, that a trailer comes out and the title of a movie is revealed, and that's that. So, yeah, I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And sure enough, it did break the most views in the first 24 hours. It got like 284 million views in the first 24 hours, which is the new record. The previous record was held by Avengers Infinity War. Again, I wouldn't get too invested in that because we've seen trailers get tons and tons of views, but it doesn't automatically mean anything about what the box office is going to be. One of the highest viewed trailers in history is 50 Shades of Grey. That is nowhere near the top 50 all-time box office movies, right? Avengers Infinity War had tons more trailer views in its first 24 hours than The Phantom Menace, but Phantom Menace has more at the box office. So I wouldn't read too much into it, although on its own, it's still an impressive number, man. 284 million views in the first 24 hours. Great. That just tells you that how excited the fans of the film are excited for it. And I think that's kind of overwhelming, and it's really huge. Anyway, John Jordan writes, everyone hates Thanos. In the Avengers 4 trailer, he's limping and clearly hurt. Surely now the Avengers with Captain Marvel will be able to easily take him out. I don't know. I never think anything can be easily this or that. Remember, with all the combined power of Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, the end result was them able to get one drop of blood out of Thanos. Then the god Thor shows up and hurls Stormbreaker into him, and that changed things a bit. But no, the Russo brothers said in their DVD commentary that the Gauntlet and Thanos are permanently damaged. The Gauntlet and Thanos are permanently damaged. In Avengers Infinity War, he was beatable. It was possible to beat him, although incredibly, the odds were stacked against everybody, and clearly he won. But he is much more beatable now. So what their whole hook on that is going to be, that's why I really think, the true antagonist of Avengers Endgame is not so much going to be Thanos, but the effects of what Thanos did. The environment is going to be the main antagonist. The environment and the context, they're trying to undo what was done. And that's going to be the antagonist more than Thanos. But Thanos is still going to pose a very significant problem. So it's going to be interesting to see how they address that. Syrian Douglas writes, Tony's half of the trailer really got to me. It was really very, very nice. It was very nice. I particularly that opening line of the end is part of the journey. The ending is part of the journey. I like that line. I particularly like the line, though, when he's talking to Pepper, leaving a message for her, and he says, when I drift off, I'm going to be dreaming of you. And that was really nice. And it was very consistent with the character, and I thought it was very sweet, and I like that line a lot. Robert Tari writes, can you explain why Canada and the US have the same theatrical and home video release date, but not the same licensed stuff on Netflix and Hulu? Because they're two completely different industries. You're talking about theatrical distribution. That's one industry. And the theatrical distribution industry treats North America, or at least Canada and the US, as one market, right? They treat it as one market. So they release in Canada and the US on the same days and blah, blah. It's just, and by the way, when you hear domestic box office, that's not just the USA, that's US and Canada. When you hear this movie set the opening weekend box office record with $280 million, That's Canada and the US. So Canada and the US is kind of just counted as domestic. It's just counted as domestic. But Netflix and Hulu, that's a completely different industry. Now you're talking about home streaming, home cable. There's rights with cable networks, and you have different companies in Canada versus cable companies in the US, and there's different rights with territories and all that kind of stuff. Although they both involve movies, but it's a completely different industry. With different sets of rights and licenses that are needed to do it from country to country to country. So that's why you get a big difference there, Robert. Shillin516 writes, Avengers trailer dropped right before my girlfriend and I boarded our plane. We watched it in line before officially boarding. That's funny. I remember being with some people when the Star Wars, the Phantom Menace trailer dropped. And we were leaving Las Vegas, and I didn't, but because I was staying for another couple of days, but friends of mine who were at the airport getting ready to get on the plane to fly home from Vegas, the trailer dropped and they were watching it there. So that's really kind of funny. That's a cool, you'll always remember now the first time you saw that trailer. That's fun. JCL Productions writes, hey John, felt like this trailer wanted to stay very light on action and story to give Captain Marvel some room to breathe and not get steamrolled. Now watching both, I actually like the Captain Marvel trailer more. Well, I don't know that I agree with that, JC. I see where you're coming from. But I don't think, like, if they thought they had a better first trailer, then they would have made the better first trailer. I don't think you sacrifice the quality of a trailer, because really, if their concern was, let's not steamroll Captain Marvel, then they just wouldn't have launched the trailer now. They would have waited a few more weeks. At least that's what makes sense to me. To me, it seems like if Marvel's concern was not stepping all over the Captain Marvel trailer, then you don't put out a muted Avengers 4 trailer on purpose. What you do is you hold off your Avengers 4 trailer another week or two. So I don't think, look, again, and I agree with you, watching that Avengers trailer made me appreciate the Captain Marvel trailer even more. But that Captain Marvel trailer was a second trailer. Let's keep that in mind. But I just think, no. They have a marketing plan, and it's going to ramp up. And they start with a first trailer that's just kind of, hey, everybody, here, just to recap, here's where we're at. Everybody's sad. A lot of people died. You know, the Avengers are dealing with the after effects of their first big loss, losing to Thanos, and Thanos succeeding in his mission. And here's where we're at. But Ant-Man shows up at the end, and there's a glimmer of hope. That's what they were trying to do. And that was their plan, regardless, I think, at any rate, regardless of when the Captain Marvel trailer came out, that was their plan. That was their goal. That's what they were going for. And they accomplished it. And the result was a good, solid first trailer. Again, I don't think anything mind-blowing or spectacular, but definitely good and solid for a first trailer. You just wait, though. You just wait till that second trailer comes. I think that's the one when everybody's heads are going to explode. Herc08 writes, not too much, not too little. Still excited. It's not supposed to be action heavy as we had a major loss, literally. I liked it. It's not even rated yet, so they still have work to do. No, I think the reason they don't have a rating yet is because the movie's still like over 4 months away. I just don't think they've submitted it to the MPAA yet to give their rating. That's all it is. They just got to they got to submit the movie to the MPAA ratings board, and then the ratings board gives a rating. They just haven't given it to the board yet because the movie's still 4 months out. But I mean, it's not a mystery. We know what this movie is going to be rated. It's going to be PG-13. That is what the movie's going to be rated. It's not going to be PG. It's not going to be G. It's not going to be R. It's going to be PG-13. So no big surprise there. And I agree. It didn't show too much. I thought they could have shown us a little bit more. But again, they had their plan of what they wanted to accomplish in their first trailer, and they accomplished it. And that's why it's a good trailer. It's a good first trailer. Rufino Salazar Jr. writes, I love seeing Cap in S.H.I.E.L.D. outfit. It was, I gotta say, it was weird seeing Cap clean-shaven again. I've just got used to, over the past year, Cap with the beard. And I'll tell you what, I kind of like Cap in the beard. I thought I liked it. I kind of wish they kept it like that in the new movie. But again, he's the classic Captain America look, clean shaven, whatever. It's going to take me a little bit getting used to, you know what I mean? This is going to take me a little bit of getting used to. But yeah, seeing him in that outfit was pretty cool. Alex Hana writes, having the title revealed during the trailer would have been cool, but I had it quote-unquote spoiled for me. Not a big deal, but still upset I never got to experience that. I wouldn't worry about it, Alex. I wouldn't worry about it. It's a title. Who cares? It's a title. By the way, I mean, everybody's been speculating about the title for, 5 months. And a lot of the speculation was around Endgame. But honestly, really? Come on, Alex. Come on, buddy. It's a title. That's not a spoiler. Hearing what the title was before they announced it isn't a spoiler. Come on, it's a title. It's useless. It's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. It's okay. Don't worry about it. There are going to be things, trust you and me both, Alex, as we get closer to the release date of Avengers Endgame. There are going to be real spoilers, I get at that could affect our enjoyment of the movie, or at least affect our experience of watching the movie that you and I can get very upset about, believe you me. But I wouldn't worry about this one. Let this one go, Alex. Let this one go, my friend. Okay. Christopher Benson writes, just recently viewed Vampire's Kiss, so I see Nick Cage has been crazy since at least 88. By the way, Jennifer Beal is super hot in that one. I do not remember a vampire. I mean, I remember the poster. I can see the poster in my head. I'll be honest, I'm not even sure I watched that one. Nicolas Cage has been, batshit crazy forever. I mean, that's just it, which is part of his genius and part of his brilliance as a performer when he's on his game. But yeah, man, back in the day, Jennifer Beal was like, yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, Herc08 writes, just trying to figure out how the title was a spoiler. It's a callback to Strange comment, but still nothing groundbreaking. No sight of Captain Marvel. However, it's just an announcement. That was one of my theories. I mean, I had 500 theories, and like everybody's theories, half of them ended up being right, half of them ended up being wrong. One of my theories that was wrong was I really did think they were going to put Captain Marvel in the first trailer. I really did. I really thought they were going to, well, for two reasons. One, Kevin Feige's comments seem to imply that Captain Marvel is going to be a significant figure in Avengers Endgame. On that level, you think she might be in the first trailer. But on the other hand as well, I also thought they would use the Avengers 4 trailer to help pump up the Captain Marvel movie, much like the Avengers Infinity War trailer helped promote the Black Panther movie that hadn't come out yet. Because remember, those Avengers Infinity War trailers were out before Black Panther hit theater. So Black Panther was still coming out, and we had Black Panther trailers, but we also had this Avengers Infinity War trailer showing Black Panther in Wakanda, right? So it kind of helped feed the buzz and the momentum and the hype for Black Panther. And I suspected they were going to do the same thing with Captain Marvel. Now, we still got a few months to go. Maybe they will launch another Avengers Endgame trailer, and it will feature Captain Marvel more, which will hype up the release of Captain Marvel even more. But yeah, I gotta admit, man, I was a little bit surprised. Like, once you watch the trailer and you realize what they were going for, hey, just an announcement, recapping where everybody's at, everybody's sad, the Avengers took their first loss, once you realize what they were going for, yeah, I can see why you don't need to put in Captain Marvel. But yeah, going into it, I certainly thought Captain Marvel popping up was a strong, not only possibility, I thought it was a probability. But hey, that's why we speculate, because sometimes we're wrong, and I was definitely wrong about that one. Rufino Salazar Jr. writes, Black Panther's sister is shown in the room with Banner looking at screens of dead or missing people. Did she die? That's the implication. The implied message there is that she is one of the dusted. Now, you can say, but John, they didn't show her dusting. True, but we didn't see. Remember, half the world disappeared, and we only saw a small handful of people dusting, even though half the world dusted. So the implied message here is that she is dusted. However, I think it's also a possibility that maybe she just went into hiding. I don't see why she needed to go into hiding. Her and M'Baku are on good terms now. Wakanda would have needed the royal family now more than ever. It doesn't make sense to me that she'd just be in hiding, but it's possible. But I think the implied message here is that she's gone. Mario Flores writes, I really want there to be real consequences in Endgame. I really believe the world by the end of the movie will still be missing half of the population and each of the core heroes will trade their lives for the new Avengers. What are your thoughts? I don't think so. I don't think so. There's no scientific way to trade your life for somebody else's. Because I still to this day do not believe Captain America is dying in this. I still don't believe Iron Man is dying in this. I mean, it's possible. It's totally possible. I don't believe Thor is dying in it, but again, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible at all. It totally is. So I don't see that at all. Look, Avengers Infinity War was a standalone movie. It had a beginning, a middle, and its end. The only thing different about it was the bad guy won. Period. The movie had its consequences. What's the long-term thing now? I don't know. It really does seem to me that either a new universe is going to be created, so they say, no, they didn't bring the other people back to life. It's just a new created alternate universe. It's still the same thing. I do believe that the effects of the snap become undone by the end of the movie. I really do. But that doesn't mean there are no senses of consequences. Remember, it'll probably be years that the world suffered through that loss. And the effects will be profound on the world, even if they get everybody back. And also remember this, consequences, there's more than one way to bring consequences to the movie, Mario, right? Half the world's population gone, that's definitely consequences, but maybe there are other consequences that will take its place. I honestly don't think, and I could be wrong about this, I don't have any insider information on this, this is just me speculating as a fan. I honestly don't think the end of this movie is just going to be, oh, the Avengers who died get brought back, but nobody else does. I don't see that being what goes down. There's a universal unfairness about that, oh, well, as long as the heroes come back, you know what I'm saying? So I don't see that being a thing. But again, I think it's important to keep in mind that, the consequences were real. They happened in Infinity War. Now we have a new movie, and we'll see what happens. But there are other ways to have consequences. They may undo the snap, but there could be other heavy consequences involved other than that. So let's just be careful. I mean, look, ultimately, Mario, we're going to have to wait and see how the movie kind of plays out, right? But I think what we're going to see is that this is its own movie. It will have its own set of problems, solutions, and resolutions by the end, and its own set of consequences to deal with. We shouldn't pigeonhole ourselves ever when going into a movie about this specific thing needs to happen or else the movie doesn't work. No. There are a billion different possibilities. There are millions of different combinations of things that could happen. And I think just we as film fans need to be very cautious. And I'm sure you're not doing this. We just got to be very cautious not to pigeonhole ourselves before the movie even starts. You know what I mean? Let's go in, understand there's a million different things that can happen, and there's thousands of those ways are effective, thousands of them aren't, but it's not just one thing that needs to happen in order for the movie to work. So let's go in there, open mind, see what happens. But really good observation there, Mario. Thanks for sharing. All right. Alex Hana writes, Russo Brothers, the title is nothing that was said by any character and nothing anyone has guessed. Also, Russo Brothers, it's Avengers Endgame. You know what's funny? I thought I remember hearing the Russo Brothers saying it's something that has been mentioned in the movies before. That's what I thought I heard. Or, honestly, it is very possible. It is very possible that the title of Avengers 4 was not Endgame. It is totally possible that there could have been a period of time when the title was something else, and then they just thought better of it and then gave it the title Endgame. Remember, there was also the suggestion that was floated that we want to be careful when we reveal the title because there's kind of spoilers in the title. Well, why would you put a spoiler in the title? So, I mean, the most likely scenario here is that the title was always Endgame. But I think there might be a possibility that there may have been a period of time when they thought the title was going to be something else. And then, a few weeks before they reveal the title, Kevin Feige thought better of it and thought, you know what? No, there's too much spoiler in that title. Let's give it another title and let's give it Endgame. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying I think that's a possibility and we got to keep that in mind. Anyway, good observation, man. Alex Hena writes, by the way, my last name is pronounced Hena. Woo, I actually might have been pronouncing it right. Well, wonders never cease because I butcher names all the time. But thanks for bringing that to my attention, Alex. Curtis Lopez writes, did everyone forget about Seth MacFarlane? He created and produced a show for years that went after everybody, yet he didn't have to apologize. BS. Yes. And by the way, I like Seth MacFarlane as a host. I did. But that was a different time. Yeah, it was only a few years ago, but that was a different time. That was before the Me Too movement, a movement that was harshly overdue, like radically overdue. That was before, look, the entertainment culture particularly, but our culture as a whole went through a really dynamic shift in the last year and a half. And probably one in the right direction and probably one that was needed. However, even when good things happen, going to extremes with good things can become a bad thing. And the reality is that I don't think today Seth MacFarlane could get picked as an Oscar host. I do not think that today Seth MacFarlane could get picked as an Oscar host, and that's a shame. Because I think he's really funny. And I think there's a place for humor. But again, Curtis, I totally see what you're saying. And even though it was just a handful of years ago, it was a different era. We've gone through a massive shift in the last few years. And unfortunately, when that shift, which was a good shift and a necessary shift, sometimes some people can take things too far, and hence we get, Kevin Hart once tweeted something in 2011 that kind of said this, and even though it doesn't really correlate with the rest of his character, and even though he said he's totally changed as a person, and he's backtracked on those comments, not good enough. He said something once in a tweet in 2011. I think that's taking it too far. But you know what? Give us as a culture and a society time to adjust. And we're going to bounce back and forth between extremes. And then at some point, those extremes will get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then we'll find the sweet spot. But give us time, because it's a new thing. It's a new kind of era we live in at the moment. Josh Burnett writes, I'm seeing I probably just meant and. I'm seeing an early showing of Spider-Verse today. That's awesome. I'm going to go see it on Tuesday. I still haven't seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm seeing it Tuesday. It's a great week for movies for me. I saw Bumblebee yesterday. I'll give my more full review on the John Campea show tomorrow. I saw Bumblebee yesterday. I'm seeing Aquaman on Monday, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse on Tuesday, Mortal Engines on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to all these movies. I'm hearing great things about all of them, but I'm glad you're going to get a chance to go see that, Josh. CK Gould writes, the character Michael Myers should host the Oscars. Just standing there in his mask. Holds out a trophy. Somebody walks up very sheepishly and grabs the trophy. But I mean, really, that's what it feels like right now, right, CK? It's got to be somebody who has never spoken a word. That's the only way. It's the only way you're going to find an Oscar host. Alex Hayna writes, kid, why is my friend's name Leah? Mom, because her mom loves Star Wars. Kid, what about me? Mom, enough questions, Avengers Endgame trailer. That's funny. It's a true story. One of Anne's best friends in the world. Her name's Jaylyn. Jaylyn and her husband, Matt, had a baby a while ago. And yep, they named their baby Obi. That is winning at parenting right there. They named their kid Obi, O-B-I. And yes, it's not just a coincidence. They named him after Obi-Wan Kenobi. That, my friends, is some good parenting. Right even before you take the kid home from the hospital, you're already a good parent. And they named the kid Obi, which I think is the greatest thing ever. Okay. Anthony Ashmask writes, you say not to judge upcoming films' box office performance based on the number of views and hype its trailer gets. Like 50 Shades. How is Lion King's trailer any different? Oh, it's massively different. On the basis of which you said It has a shot of making more than Avengers 4. No, remember, and this is why, guys, I repeat myself many times, because even if I repeat myself, some people miss it. I said over and over and over again, Anthony, it's not how many people saw the trailer. It's the impact we're seeing that the trailer's had. It is the reaction to this trailer around the globe. It is the global reaction to this trailer that has made me go, wait a minute. This thing, because again, this is the kind of observation I've been making, is that, and I've had a lot of you guys writing into the show and saying this, the thing that Star Wars and the Marvel movies have done is that they get the hardcore fans excited to come out and see it, and they get the casual movie-going fans excited to go out and see it. That's why Star Wars, MCU movies have made so much bank. But Lion King seems to be bringing a third element to it. Because the global response to this Lion King movie hasn't just been the hardcore fans, which is Star Wars and MCU gets, the casual movie-going fans, which also Star Wars and the MCU gets. That Lion King trailer introduced a third dimension of people who don't go to the movies are saying, I'm going to go to the movies to go watch that. And I've had a number of people writing to me saying that. I've got my family members who never talk about movies on social media. They basically go to maybe one movie a year. I got my family members writing about, cannot wait to see this Lion King. Oh my God, did you see this Lion King thing? What they're doing this Lion King, it looks like it's life, blah, 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 blah. I had you guys writing into me about saying, I got family members who I can never get to go to the movies with. They don't want to go. Lion King trailer drops. The whole family's trying to organize family outings to go see Lion King. See, yeah, one, you got to get the hardcore fans. Two, to be a big, massive hit, though, you got to do more than get the hardcore fans. You got to get the casual movie-going audience, and that can equal box office records. But it seems like Lion King is getting that third dimension of people who do not care about going to the movies are planning on going to see this movie. And it was that global worldwide response to that trailer that made me go, wait a minute. Like for me, and I think for all of us, it's just been a foregone conclusion that Avengers Endgame is going to be the number one box office film of 2019. Like that wasn't even a question. It's just a foregone conclusion. And it may very well still be, but I'm not so positive about that anymore. Not because I don't think Avengers Endgame isn't going to make a big, huge bank. It could be the next film to join the $2 billion club. But because I'm starting to suspect there is a possibility, and it all depends on quality at this point, which we have no idea of. But I am now, for the first time in a long time, suspecting that there may be a legit challenger to Avengers Endgame taking the number one spot at the box office in 2019, and that may be Lion King. Look, when Jungle Book makes nearly $1 billion, it was basically a $1 billion film, and it doesn't have anywhere near the amount of, of fans that love it and its place in the pop culture consciousness and all that kind of, as Lion King does right now. If that movie makes $1 billion, what the hell is this Lion King going to do? And so again, it has nothing to do. Like, I thought it was interesting that it had over 200 million views in the first 24 hours. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was impressive. But and I've said it over and over and over again, that's not what makes me think that this thing has a chance of beating Endgame. It's that response of seeing the hardcore, the casual, and the non-existent movie fans who never go to the movies or could care less about going to the movies or maybe see one movie a year, and seeing a response like, oh my God, this is going to get out a lot of people who just never go to the movies. That's the part that makes me go, you know what? It's possible. Now look, if I had a $10,000 bill, I don't even know if those exist. If I had a $10,000 bill in my hand and I was forced to make a bet between Avengers Endgame being the number one box office film of 2019 or Lion King being the number one box office film of 2019, I'm going to put that $10,000 bet on Endgame. I am. I'm just not going to feel nearly as secure about it as I did a month ago. A month ago, lock. No question. put that $10,000 on Endgame. Now, today, I'm like, yeah, I still got to go Endgame, but I'm not feeling as nearly secure about that as I did before. And I think Lion King's going to shock a lot of people. Now, if the movie sucks, then all this discussion is pointless. If the movie sucks, then all this doesn't really mean anything. And we're going to have to wait and see if it's any good or not. But anyway, that's the point. That's the difference, Anthony. And that's what I was getting at before. All right. Paul M. writes, let's see, where is Paul M.? I'm interested in the Spider-Man multiverse movie. The graphic art style really grabs me, but I'm wondering if it might be overbearing. The trailer had me a little dizzy. Has anyone else said that? I'll be honest. Look, Paul, when the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse trailer came out, I didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but honestly, I didn't like it. The artistic style of it didn't jive with me, didn't work with me. I'm like, the trailer looks okay. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't, whatever, meh. But the more trailers I've seen, it's grown on me. It's grown on me. But no, Paul, I don't think you're alone in that. I really don't. I do not think you're the only guy who's feeling that way. I think there are other people who feel that way. And so let's see what happens there. Let's see here. Where are we at? That was Paul M. All right. Razor's Edge Frisbee writes, congrats to God of War. God of War, for those of you who missed it, won the Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Congrats to God of War. Well-deserved. Makes me happy because the director was legitimately passionate about making the game. Here's the thing. I'm sure every director of every game was legitimately passionate about making their games. I'm sure about that. God of War, I loved God of War. And I didn't even play it. I watched like the 9-hour story version of it. I watched like all 9 hours I watched, and I thought it was great. And I'm going to play God of War. I'm buying God of War. I'm going to be playing that pretty soon. I'll probably do play-in chats with it. You guys can watch me fumble my way through that. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to hear that. Nathan Oswald writes, Mortal Kombat 11 reveal, hype, April 23rd. Yeah, at the Game Awards, they also did like a commercial for 1,000 games, but one of them was Mortal Kombat 11. Very gory, very gruesome. It was a lot, but it got people talking. Mortal Kombat, like probably the king of the fighting games, is on its way back to try to take its throne back. Okay, Andrew Lee writes, who are your favorite arch enemies? I favor Xavier. Well, that's it. I mean, Xavier and Magneto, their former and remaining friendship adds a unique layer of poignancy to their conflict. No, it's absolutely Xavier and Magneto. To me, that will always be it. You can go Kirk and Khan or whatever, but yeah, you can go Batman and Joker. You can say this or that, but to me, it will always be, there is so much depth and so much richness and so many layers to the relationship between Magneto and Xavier, between Eric and Charles. It is the greatest arch foes relationship in any comic. And yes, I put it above Batman and Joker. Now, there are other areas in which I think Batman, Joker trump Charles and Eric, but like overall, just my favorite nemesis relationship, it will always be Eric and Charles. It's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because not only is their individual relationship so layered and nuanced, each individual character, including Magneto, who, by the way, Magneto is not my all-time favorite villain. He is my all-time favorite comic book character. Eric Lesnar is my all-time favorite comic book character, period. Because there's so much nuance to him, because there's so many layers to him, because he is so this and that. He is neither or, he is both and. He's just, I love that character. So to me, that's always going to be it. All right. Mario Flores writes, Robert, tell John how amazing My Hero Academia is. The Hart, music, storytelling are all primed for a live-action Netflix series. Rob, you're the best. Well, Rob isn't here right now. Clearly, he was on with me when this question came in. I've never seen My Hero Academia, but my wife, Anne, and my friend Kaori keep telling me I should check it out. Again, I'm so far behind. I got so much TV that I don't have time to watch, so I don't know that I'll ever get around to it. But it's not just you, Mario. It's not just you. I've got a number of people, including my wife, telling me I need to watch that. So one of these days, at some point, I got to sit down and watch this thing probably. All right, Christopher Sanchez writes, any excitement for Dark Phoenix? I'm excited for it. Look, I do not hide the fact that X-Men Apocalypse was a letdown for me. That movie was a letdown for me, especially coming off of the brilliance of X-Men Days of Future Past, which I think is a top 10 comic book movie of all time, and especially because Age of Apocalypse is my all-time favorite story in comic books. I was particularly disappointed and let down with X-Men Apocalypse. That being said, this is the studio that gave us X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, Deadpool, Deadpool 2, Logan. They're on a massive streak. They're like 5-1 out of their last 6 pictures, right? Deadpool, Deadpool 2, Logan, Days of Future Past, First Class. Yeah, so out of their last 6 films, they're 5-1. With the one loss to me being X-Men Apocalypse. So I am excited. Yeah, I'm very excited for Dark Phoenix. I really can't wait to see what they do with it. Did the first trailer blow my socks off? No, but it was a good trailer. But it was a first trailer. It was a first trailer. And I still really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm very excited for this movie. Whether or not it's going to be actually any good, we'll have to wait and see. All right. Royce Freeman writes, any word on a Highlander remake? Well, they've been trying to get it going for a while. One of the John Wick directors, Chad Stahelski, is working on it. The latest official word about because they've been talking for like 2 years now about this Highlander reboot that Chad Stahelski is going to direct. The latest piece of official news came back in May, I think. I want to say May. Anyway, when the screenwriter turned in, I believe, what was the final draft of the script. And that was the last official news that came out. So where it's at, I haven't heard anything else official at this point. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about it. The original Highlander is one of my top 10 all-time favorite movies, always has been. The second Highlander is one of the 3 worst films ever made in history. So I am very much looking forward to this. I want them to get this done. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about it, but I'll give it another 6 months before I get panic about it. But that's the last official news I heard about it. Let's see. James Valdez writes, in my opinion, Endgame isn't the real name of the movie. It doesn't make sense. Why hide Endgame? Doesn't give away anything, not falling for it, Marvel. I disagree. I think Endgame is the title. And look, why would you put any title to a movie that gives something away? Why would you do that? Like, what are they going to name the movie? Avengers. Thanos dies in Act 3. That's the name of the movie. Avengers. Thanos dies in Act 3. Avengers. Gamora comes back to life after Rocket sacrifices himself. That's the name of the movie, right? Like, if the title gives something away, then there is never a good time to give that title, right? Why would you want a title that gives something away? So, no, I do believe that Endgame is the title. I do believe that. Maybe they'll pull a fast one. Like, remember for a while they told everybody, the name of the new Captain America movie is Captain America, the Serpent Society, or whatever it was. And then they reveal, actually, it's Civil War. And everybody goes, we all lose our minds, right? Maybe they're doing the same thing. But, I mean, this is a movie that's now 4.5 months away. So I'm kind of leaning towards the idea that this probably is. I feel pretty safe that this is the title. But who knows? Maybe they'll pull a fast one on us. Okay. Adam K. writes, I was on Hart's side, but he lost me when he initially refused to apologize. Even if he's right, it never hurts to put ego aside and show compassion. I disagree, Adam. I think at some point, it's a dangerous, I believe, and I could be wrong about this, and maybe I'll change my mind about this. But I believe at some point you gotta stop the dangerous precedent that you need to apologize for the rest of your life for something you said in a tweet once that really wasn't all that bad. In the light of real bad things that are being done and said, at some point, you got to say, you know what? No. If that was a mistake that I made, I've already atoned for it. It was done a long time ago. I've already addressed it. I've already recognized the rights and the wrongs of it, and I have moved on, and I refuse to spend the rest of my life apologizing for it. Nobody was asking me to apologize for the last 5 years about it. Because it was done. It was settled. Oh, but now that I'm going to be the host of this show, now people want me to come out. They want to drag me out. They want me to tear my clothes and pour ash on my head. That's a biblical reference, by the way. They want me to tear my clothes and dump ash on my head and come crawling in front of the court of public opinion and beg for forgiveness again. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. I've acknowledged the rights and the wrongs of it. I'm a different person than I was from those tweets years ago. I have addressed them. I've moved on from it. I am not going to sit here and keep apologizing for the rest of my life. And I agree with them. I agree with them. You get host Oscars. Why? Because you told an insensitive joke once in a comedy special 8 years ago. The world will never be able to live together until the world can laugh at ourselves together. And it's just, I don't know. Again, I have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to any kind of intolerance, when it comes to racism, homophobia, sexism, things like that. Zero tolerance policy. But you also got to know where the line is. And to me, this just looked like an opportunity for some people to beat their chests and to pretend like we're more morally superior than others. And I don't know. To me, it felt like a lot of bullying. To me, but that's my take on it, Adam. You have a different take, and I respect that. But we're going to have to agree to disagree on that, and that's totally okay. We're used to doing that as film fans. Gary16SOK writes, I'm a big MCU fan. Honestly, didn't like the Avengers 4 trailer. Just didn't think it was a well-made trailer. Almost cringeworthy. Really? Still excited for the film, though. Yeah, look, I like the trailer. I thought it was good. I thought for a first trailer, it did what it needed to do. Am I jumping up and down about the trailer? No. But that doesn't mean I'm not out of my mind excited for the movie. You know, some people hear me say, well, yeah, I thought the trailer was good. I didn't think it was a great trailer, but I thought it was a good first trailer. And they go, well, you don't think Avengers is going to be any good? When did I say that? No. Trailer, one thing. Movie, a completely different thing. I'm losing my mind with excitement for Avengers Endgame. I cannot wait to watch this movie. But yeah, the trailer's a trailer. We've seen lots of bad trailers to good movies. We've seen lots of great trailers to terrible movies. It's a trailer and the movie are two different things. I'll disagree with Gary in the sense that I certainly didn't think it was cringeworthy. I didn't love the trailer, but I didn't think there was anything in it to detract it. You know what I mean? I didn't think there was anything in it that was like cringeworthy. Like I thought Tony's speech was really good. I thought Cap and Natasha Toppy, I thought that was a really sweet line. I think Bruce standing there looking, I thought that was nice. I thought the Hawkeye thing was nice. I didn't think there was anything in there that was necessarily cringeworthy, but like the movies themselves, the trailers are subjective. And, you know, it hit you a certain way, and you don't need to apologize for that. If it didn't work for you, it didn't work for you. But I think we can both agree that we're both kind of looking forward to the movie, though, right? All right. Just a couple more to go here. Grandmaster writes, I think that Hart should have not stepped back. The whole blaming stuff gets ridiculous and out of hand. We all said stupid things once in our lives. Oh, I agree. I agree. And again, I go back to the great Tony Campolo, who said, you know, once in front of an audience, he goes, look, if you knew every stupid wrong thing I've said in my life, you wouldn't sit here and listen to me. And if I knew every stupid wrong thing you've ever done in your life, I wouldn't want to talk to you. And you know, if you want to go through a fine-tooth comb and looking for reasons to drag people across the coals, if that's the way you want to live, that's on you. I think there are real issues. There are real things that need to be addressed. I think there are real, completely horrible things that are done and said that should be addressed. I just don't think this qualifies. I just don't think this qualifies, especially when a guy has addressed it and said, look, I am not that person. I've acknowledged the rights and the wrongs of it. Those were his words, and I think those are good words. I've addressed the rights of it and the wrongs of it, and I've learned a lot, and I've moved forward, and I've moved on from that. So there it is. I just don't understand why we continue to make it a big deal. But anyway, that's just me. I could be wrong. Let's see. Next one comes to us from Hervé Bailly, who writes, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Hervé. Greetings from Belgium. Well, greetings, man. Do you think the Ant-Man part of the trailer might be set in the future? The way it's edited seems like they're hiding something. No, I don't think so. I mean, it all depends on what your definition of future is. 10 minutes from now is the future. 10 years from now is the future. But, I mean, Scott didn't look significantly older. Cap and Natasha did not look significantly older. So, no, my guess here, I could see, look, because it looks like Avengers Endgame is setting up some time travel play, right? So it's totally understandable that you would look at particular scenes and say, do you think time travel could be playing a part here? I get why you would ask that. Myself, I look at the scene and I don't see that. Scott looks completely the same. Captain America looks the same. Black Widow looks completely the same. I think everybody's sad. They thought he was dead. He shows up. Boom, now there's hope. He comes out of the quantum realm. Guys, I learned a lot about the quantum realm being in there for the past 6 months. Blah, blah. I think there's something we can do here. Because remember, he lost everybody. He lost Hank, Hank's daughter, the mother they just got back. I mean, he lost them. And who knows if he lost his daughter. Maybe he lost his daughter too. That he's been fighting for these last few movies. You know, the ending of Ant-Man, there's something implied there that maybe his family got dusted too. I didn't think it was overt, so I don't think we can say 100% for sure, but there is an implied suggestion there. And he's like, okay, guys, look, I think I figured out a way to fix this. Right? So, the hard thing is Shuri's not around, and she's the smartest person in the MCU, and she's not there. Maybe next up in smartness is Tony, and he's off in space. So I'm thinking maybe it's going to have to be Scott and Bruce. Got to figure something out and to get it all worked out. All right. Last question of the day comes to us from Cameron Drost, who writes, thoughts on Smallville being part of Earth 90 in Arrowverse, with Amell meeting Tom Welling and their version of Green Arrow is seen in the trenches, or is it a fan service along with the 90s flash shoot? Okay, so for those of you who don't know what Cameron's talking about, the upcoming, it starts tonight. Is today Sunday? Today's Sunday. It starts tonight. The annual Arrowverse crossover starts tonight. It's a 3-episode thing running over 3 nights, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And it's their big crossover event. There have been set photos come out that shows them on the set of the Kent farm from Smallville. And recently, Stephen Amell shared pictures of, in his office with him, Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, who of course were Clark and Lex in Smallville. So a lot of people are trying to piece these together, right? What I honestly think is that it's not Smallville. I think it is just kind of, as you pointed out, we're going to find out soon. Maybe I'm wrong. We're going to find out really soon. But I think it's just fan service. I think it's just, look, guys, the actual original Kent farm from Smallville. I just think it's fan service. We saw in one of the trailers for the Elseworlds crossover that all the heroes are getting ready to fight Superman in the black suit. I can't help but wonder if they go back to his, and that Kent farm is his Kent farm. But again, we're going to find out a lot. The crossover event starts tonight. I'm super excited about it. I'm sure we're going to talk about it on the John Campea Show tomorrow. But right now, Cameron, my guess, while I can totally see why you'd ask, and while it totally could be, right now I'm leaning towards that it's just fan service, much like, as you so aptly pointed out, the 90s Flash suit is really fan service as well. So we're going to find out pretty quick, though. All right, guys, that will do it for this installment of the companion videos. Now, there are more questions we have to get around to, but they're going to have to wait for another companion video because we still got like another 50 questions to go. We'll get around to those coming up here pretty soon. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget the John Campea Show returns tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Robert Meyer Burnett's going to be on the show with me. We're going to talk Bumblebee. We're going to talk about some of this Elseworlds crossover. Going to talk about the box office this weekend. Got a lot of things to discuss. I hope you guys join us then. All right, guys, that'll do it for me. Thanks so much for joining us. My name's John Campea, and until the next video, bye-bye.